on Super Sports Arena. We welcome you to the Singapore Indoor Stadium, where today, in coverage of the 2013 ASEAN Basketball League, it's the JobStreet.com Singapore Slingers entertaining the league champion Indonesia Warriors. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Singapore. Alongside Chuck Schreiner, I'm Sean Farquhar. The Singapore Slingers and Indonesia Warriors both come into this game with even records. The Warriors 2-2, the Slingers 1-1, and Chuck, the Warriors defending league champions, started out slow. They have now won 2 straight, and they are playing well in the absence of their star, Stanley Pringle.
And that's always a good sign when you can put forth a very good effort and win on the road, which they've been able to do. 2 straight games, they come to Singapore. I like their matchup tonight. They are very, very strong inside. To me, Sean, if they can shoot well from outside too, they can seal the deal.
All right, so they come into this 2 wins and 2 losses. We take a look at the league standings. The early season surprise, Saigon Heat, with a win over San Miguel on the weekend. They have 3 wins and 1 loss. Warriors, Dragons, Beermen, and Slingers all even at 500. The Chang Thailand Slammers beating the Singapore Slingers on Friday night by 3 points. And so that gives them their first win of the season. Coming up this week after today's game, the next one comes up Friday, February 1st. That one will be on Fox Sports regional coverage. San Miguel Beermen in their home opener against the Saigon Heat. Then on Saturday, the Westport Malaysia Dragons entertain Jellybean Bryant's Chang Thailand Slammers. Chuck, you talk about these Singapore Slingers. The question for them, where is the offense going to come from? Jones Jennings, Kyle Jeffers, they're going to give you about 25, 30 points. After that, it is a bit of a crapshoot.
Well, it certainly is. Luckily, they've got Wong back tonight. He's averaging about 10 points a game. Well, the only game that he was in, he got 10 points. So hopefully that'll help from outside. But you're right, Sean. They're shooting 31% from the floor. That's not going to get it in any league. And even in ASEAN League, you're going to have to shoot 40, 45%. At home, they should be doing much, much better. So we'll have to wait and see.
And they come up against an Indonesia Warrior team that has historically given them problems on this very floor. For more on tonight's game, let's go over to our reporter, Michelle Holland.
Thank you, Sean. Good evening, everyone. It will be interesting to see that with both teams coming into this game with a 50% win rate, what will make the difference tonight? Will it be the team, the Indonesia Warriors, with more courtside time together, more experience, more time to gel and bond? Or will it be the Singapore Slingers with only 2 games under their belts? Will they have the fresh legs out on court this evening? Well, one man who's hoping they can capitalize on this home game and take the win is this fellow here, Chris Milliken. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Chris is one of the sponsors for the Singapore Slingers. Chris is from Peng Wines. Chris, what are you hoping to see from your team tonight?
Tonight, I'm sure that we'll have a victory. I'm very confident in our team this year, and I think we're building on a great season from last year, and this is going to be the year for the Singapore Slingers. I'd like to see some really good performance out of Jones and Kabatu tonight. I think if they come here to play tonight, we're in.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Chris. Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. And we take a look now at the 2 teams on the floor. The player introductions coming your way in just a second. You know, the Indonesia Warriors, Chuck, Steve Thomas and Chris Daniels, great early season start for them. They are delivering, particularly on the boards for the Warriors.
Chris Daniels with a plethora of experience, Sean. He just came over from China where he played with the great Tracy McGrady. Had a chance to see him a couple times. And he didn't do anything really bad to get cut. It's just that he came into a very overcrowded situation. So he comes here full of energy with a lot of experience, and hopefully it'll rub off on the guys tonight for Singapore.
So look here at the Indonesia Warriors. Mario Wasong out on the floor. Jarek Kanyada, those are 2 members of the backcourt. Chris Daniels this season, over 4 games, 14.5 points, 11.5 rebounds. Christian Satepu, a very important local player for the Warriors. John Smith having a great start, just under 10 points coming over from the Saigon Heat. And here is Steve Thomas, their force in the middle, and it will be a great battle against Kyle Jeffers tonight.
Certainly will be. I think they match up very well against each other. They're almost exact mirror images inside. This is the reason why I put so much parlance on shooting from outside tonight. Both these teams are going to have to light it up from outside. If they do that, Sean, they also open up spaces for the other team, for the other guys to wheel and deal. And also don't forget defense. It'll be interesting to see how both these teams come out on defense. Will it be a zone? Will it be a man? Will it be a helping man? So pretty exciting times tonight at the stadium, and hopefully we'll see the best out of both these teams because they both have a lot to offer, I think, early on here in the season.
Now the Singapore Slingers being introduced. Wong Wei Long, who missed the game on Friday in Bangkok. He was absent from that game for personal reasons. There is Mitchell Folkov, another Singaporean, Neo Beng Xiong, Michael Johnson, the rest of this Singapore Slingers coaching staff trying to get the local players more involved in the offense. There were glimpses of it in the first 2 games of the season, both of those against the Chiang Thailand Slammers. 1 win, 1 loss. But as you say, Chuck, the real question for the Slingers is where they get that offense past Jones Jennings and this man, Kyle Jeffers.
Yeah, if we look at the backcourt for Singapore, you're talking Don Dulé averaging 8 points a game and Des Minot at 6. They're going to need a lot more than that. They have a tendency to turn the ball over a little bit too. They're going to have to play very, very tight defense. The Slingers tonight, in my opinion, Sean, they need to make a statement if they're going to be competitive in this league. You've got to establish your house as your fortress, and they've got a wonderful opportunity to do that tonight.
3 minutes.
So we'll take a look at the starting 5s. First for the Singapore Slingers, Desmond O and Don Dulé in the backcourt. Dulé will run the show at the point. O is the 2 guard. Rashad Jones-Jennings giving them a double-double, and J.J. Kabatu averaging 10 points over the first 2 games. Kyle Jeffers, 14 points, 11 and a half boards in their first 2 games. Meanwhile, for the Indonesia Warriors, an up-and-down start, 2 losses to begin the season, and then coming back with back-to-back wins over the Westport Malaysia Dragons, Mario Wasong and John Smith. Steve Thomas, a double-double at the center spot. Chris Daniels and Christian Siteptu, a wild card for them. Not really sure what we're going to get out from him on the offensive end, but 4 different guys for the Indonesia Warriors can score, Chuck.
Absolutely, and Chris Daniels, you might think of him as a potential sort of inside man. Not so. He can either back down a player using a post-up move, or he can face up too. He's very good off the dribble. He's got a decent crossover for a big man. He's only 1.98, so not a huge guy. Look at number. Sorry, Sean. Look at number 55, Steve Thomas, too. I mean, 12 and a half rebounds a game, 14 and a half. Check that, 14 and a half rebounds a game, 12 and a half points. I mean, offense, necessarily, that's going to have to go through him.
This game being shown to you live on Super Sports Arena. You can also watch this live via web stream. Go to ASEANBasketballLeague.com. When we come back, the opening tip, live coverage continues the 2013 ABL. Stay with us. Where we are live and just about set for the start between the JobStreet.com Singapore Slingers and the Indonesia Warriors. Sean Farquhar, Chuck Schreiner, Michelle Holland on hand for this one. If you are just joining us, both the Indonesia Warriors and Singapore Slingers at even 500 to begin the season. Warriors 2 up and 2 down, and the Slingers 1 win and 1 loss, both coming against the Chiang Thailand Slammers. This one going at 8 p.m. local time in Singapore, and fans still making their way into the seats here at the indoor stadium.
Once again, you have
Sean, you made a very good point at the break. Paying attention to the guards of the Indonesian Warriors. Wasong averaging 11 points a game. Kenyatta 13 and Smith 10. In comparison to the guard play of Singapore, 8 and 6, we really don't know what we're going to get from Wong, so we're just about to see, although Wong is not starting tonight.
It's Desmond O, J.J. Kabatu, Kyle Jeffers, Don Dulé, Rashad Jones-Jennings for the Slingers. John Smith now with the ball for the Warriors, joined by Chris Daniels, Steve Thomas, Christian Satepu, and this man, Mario Wusong.
Man-to-man defense being employed by Singapore on the inside, or by Indonesia on the inside.
Steve Thomas can't control off the Chris Daniels miss, and so the Slingers take over on offense.
Yeah, good hustle defense that time by the Slingers, and in particular Kabatu getting the hands out, forcing that turnover.
So Don Dulé, and there is a foul committed by John Smith. So right off the bat, the blocking foul committed by Indonesia.
Smith surprised by that first step. You see the little stutter step, the hesitation, and then taking off Don Dulé left Smith in his tracks.
A couple of Filipinos battling there. It's Dulé again. This is Kabatu. Oh, going inside. Jeffers looking to back down Thomas, pushes him in. Leaning, couldn't get separation. Good defensive job by Steve Thomas. Now Smith trying to thread it through, and Jones-Jennings there to vacuum it up, Chuck.
Nice job by Singapore in transition to get back, in particular Jones hustling back to cut off that pass, stepping into the passing lane.
Entry pass to Jeffers. He'll try it again. Kicks
Almost
outside. Now Kabatu underneath. It's Rashad Jones-Jennings, and he's fouled on the way upstairs.
Yeah, it looks like on the inside and the outside, Singapore really has a better sense of speed where they are in the spaces. And a couple of times, if you look at it again, watch the late foul from behind. So Singapore doing a good job underneath.
Jones-Jennings with those long arms. While not the tallest player, he has certainly got great presence in the lane.
Well, you know, but they make up with that lack of tallness by movement. You can see the little reverse there by Jones when he had the ball underneath. And before that, we saw the same thing with Jeffers. Sometimes it's not your height, but how you present yourself underneath is just as important.
Warriors get away with a blatant lane violation. And here is Daniels.
Daniels trying to get some movement. Nobody cutting towards the basket.
Smith on the runner.
Good job by Smith stepping in the lane. Off the screen by Daniels.
Now Dulé. Skip pass, Kabatu at the top. Jeffers with a hook shot. And he is going to that more and more in 2013.
Yeah, good job. And what that allows him to do is he uses the other side of his body when he turns sideways as a shield. Keeps the other defenders off. A shot from outside is going to be off.
Satepu, yeah, and that's that offensive rebounding you were talking about as being crucial for Indonesia. Wusong, crossover, gave it up, and now Smith, and gets separation from Desmond O, and John Smith creates his own shot.
That's what you were talking about, the outside guard play, Sean, of Indonesia on display right there. Meanwhile, inside, Thomas creating some separation, doing a lot of picks down and rolling. Don't be surprised if they go to him next time down. That shot's been there the last two trips.
Kabatu from outside, off the mark. Smith nearly lost it. Now Wusong, show and go move, and off the window for the deuce.
Yeah, good move. I thought he might have walked that time. He got separation from Dulé.
Oh, and a little volleyball pass inside. Jeffers, jump shot. Loose ball, and that'll be the Slingers on the side.
Slingers get a break that time. Jeffers a little bit out of control with that shot. That's not his spot.
Dulé sets it up in the half court.
Yeah, looking for cutters. Nobody's moving without the ball. Look how stagnant the offense is right now. Jeffers with that post up again. Got it.
That time, Thomas allowing Kyle Jeffers to go baseline. 6'5" Warriors. 6:45 to go in the opening period. Oh, and Neo Beng Xiong, the coach for the Slingers, says, hey, That's Slingers' ball. The referees confer, and they get the call right.
Yeah. Thomas, we talked about him a little bit earlier, getting some space down low. They tried to go to him just like he said they would, this time from the opposite side. Picking up mismatches. He's got a couple of them. Doesn't matter who they put on him. He's going to be taller. He's going to be broader. So advantage Warriors in that respect.
Jeffers from outside. That's really not his shot.
No, it's not.
Now Jones-Jennings. Slingers with a second opportunity.
Last 3 times down, the Slingers have had second chance opportunities, haven't done anything with it.
Jones-Jennings down Broadway. Look at the score. Tapped. Refusing to go. Oh, rims tight at the indoor stadium, Chuck. John Smith now for Satepu.
Nice job by Thomas on the boards for Indonesia to get that rebound. And you can see early on, Sean, Indonesia trying to get the ball down the court in a hurry. Substitution early on here. Out goes Smith.
The foul is on Dulé. It's the Slingers' first team foul. Busong looking to go baseline. Instead, the pull-up jumper rattles in and out.
Lots of white boxing out around the basket. It's good to see.
Dulé going back. Got the 2 big men out high. An unusual offense for the Slingers. A kick ball by Steve Thomas to deny the entry pass, so they'll put 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Jeffers trying to coax Smith into coming outside so he can face him up and go around him. Hasn't worked the last couple times. Jeffers has had to take the jump shot.
Jones-Jennings baseline, and he stepped on the line. 5:40 to go in the first half. Warriors 6, Slingers 5. Dulé picks up Busong. The dump to Thomas.
There's that mismatch again.
He can go over Jones-Jennings and does. The jumper falling for Steve Thomas. 3-point edge for the Warriors.
Yeah, Indonesia's starting to feel comfortable going to Thomas on the inside like that. Now, don't be surprised next time they go to the opposite side. Thomas should be just as effective there.
Desmond O yet to really work his way into the offense for Singapore.
And again, waiting for the guard play of Singapore to come alive.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Jones-Jennings with the hook. He beats the shot clock, but they did not get a quality shot off. Daniels, the song, thought about the 3. Satepu, baseline jumper. That's an air ball. Jennings with the rebound.
Talked about Thomas at the beginning, his ability to see the court and run the court like a guard. Another example of that's twice Chris Daniels has run transition, Sean.
And Kabatu buys himself a foul. Satepu goes over the back of Jinjae Kabatu.
And check it out on the replay there. Touch foul.
Timeout on the floor. Midway through the first quarter, it's the Warriors 8, Slingers 5. We'll get you back to the Singapore Indoor Stadium after this. Live coverage continues with 2013 ABL.
I think Daniels runs the floor better than their guards.
I've noticed the Slingers are slow to get up the floor when they've got the ball. You know, you can run on anybody in the ABL, but they get the ball and they kind of, saunter up, and then suddenly, there's 12 seconds on shot clock. You haven't run your offense.
The only thing where Singapore's got advantage as far as quickness is when they get the ball down low.
Right.
They've got to step on. Both their guys are faster down low, but
right. But they don't move the ball.
No, they don't.
Particularly well. Indonesia does.
And the thing is, if they don't start hitting shots from outside, they're just going to dump another defender down low. And they'll let them shoot from outside because they know they're not going to make it.
Right. Back live on Super Sports Arena. We are at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. 4:40 to play in the first quarter, and the Singapore Slingers at home trailing the Indonesia Warriors 8-5. Don Dulé inbounding to JJ Kabatu. Rebound by Dulé, so they'll back it up again with a full 24. Now into the game, Wong Wei Long. Baseline drive, Jennings right there. Too much off the glass. That's 3 good looks. The Slingers come away with nothing. Jarek Kanyata now in the game. Daniels to Kanyata. Back out, Wusong for 3. Buries it.
Yeah, that's again that guard play inside and out. Indonesia doing a very fine job. Question is, when will Singapore start doing the same on their end? They've got to get some points from the perimeter if they're going to be competitive tonight.
Wong swings it to Dulé. Dulé with a drive, and he is inadvertently tripped by Jarek Kanyata.
One advantage that Singapore has is in the foul situation right now. I think that's a 4th or 5th foul. We look at it again. In one of the instances, it was a trade-off. So there was a mix-up on the defensive coverage that time, so he got the mismatch he wanted to. Dulé always going to be a step quicker in that situation.
Kabatu on Dulé, and now Wusong checking Wong Wei Long. Dulé back out. Jones-Jennings goes it across the floor. Kabatu with a leaner. Jones-Jennings mistimes his jump. Warriors ball.
Now that's a wasted opportunity right there. Jones working so hard underneath, getting the ball outside Kabato, missing the layup. You've got to hit the gimmies.
Wusong averaging double figures for the Warriors. There's Kanyata.
Wide open look.
Ooh, that pass. Too high for Daniels.
Yeah, right idea by Daniels. He gets behind his defender. All that needed was a decent pass, and he was going to flush it.
Warriors have already turned the ball over 4 times in the first quarter with 3:21 to play.
Well, Jennings really a force underneath for Singapore. By my count, he's got 4 rebounds already, 2 of them offensive.
Kabatu pushes back to Dulé, and Kanyata left his feet. That's a foul on Don Dulé.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Indonesia. They had done a good job. And you can see the guard play, Sean, of Singapore. They're throwing the ball around the perimeter, but they're not getting any penetration at all off the dribble.
Warriors over the limit. So Dulé at the line. It's been a modest start to the season for Don Dulé, averaging a shade over 8 points per contest. 1 of 2 at the line, and free throw shooting has not been good for the Slingers. Just 57% at the line over their first 2 games.
Well, you figure shooting 31% from the floor, 57% from the line. You can do the math on that.
Kanyata stops, pops, no good.
Had a good look.
Daniels out on Kabatu. Dulé over the top. His 3 too strong. Jones-Jennings right there for the rebound. Good positioning.
The 3rd offensive board by Jennings. Where would they be right now in the game without his force underneath?
Thomas sagging off.
No movement. No movement by Singapore on offense. Look at Jennings having to do it by himself.
Hook shot not working for Jones-Jennings. Daniels brings it up. Richard Smith. Boy, Smith is having a woeful start to the season.
Offensive board by Thomas there.
Wei Long trying to hold Kanyata. Nice pass behind to the trailing Chris Daniels.
Yeah, great play by Daniels. Great recognition by both those guys working together. Thomas getting behind the defense.
Kabatu has space to shoot, puts it on the floor instead. It's almost like the Slingers are afraid to shoot from outside. As I say that, Wei Long misses a 3.
Well, Long had his first look was his best look, and he didn't take the shot. He waited till his defender got right on and right back at you, and 9 times out of 10, that's just what happens. He who hesitates is lost in this game.
Kanyata from the free throw line, and the Warriors are up by 9. 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Turnover, Daniels picks it up. He's got Richard Smith as a trailer, one bounce, and Richard Smith is going to the line.
A nice play by Smith, challenging his defender. He had the mismatch there. He's a head taller than him, so why not? He saw that the defender was still moving his feet. He's able to take advantage, and you might as well go for it. If you get the basket, then you get a chance for a three-point play. He'll take his chances at the free throw line.
Richard Smith, in his first season as a professional, in 4 games, 7 of 33 from the floor for a 21% field goal percentage. He has some work to do.
And Sean, you look at the score, 16-6. Not that Indonesia's lighting it up, but my goodness, 6 points in a whole quarter. Slingers 2 of 16 from the floor against the Warriors 7 of 13. So 13%, Sean, playing 54%. And right there, that's what we were talking about at the beginning of the game.
How are they only down 11?
Yeah, it's a good point, It's a good point. Turnovers, Warriors with 4, Slingers with 2. The Warriors out rebounding the Slingers 11-8. Obor's going the Slingers' way, 5-2.
Han Bin now in the game, and it's with the ball. Long way long to Jones-Jennings.
And look, the
4
shot clock
seconds,
down to 3.
Back to him, and they get one off from outside. Han Bin can't hit from downtown. 25 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Well, the guards of Singapore are passing up pretty good looks, and there's another steal.
Yeah, he cuts that off, long way long. And the foul, that is going to be on. That is Agustinus Indrajaya, who had just checked into the game.
Wong doing a good job going to the backpedaling defender. You never do that. You try to move from side to side, so classic mistake made by the defender. Wong in recognition and taking advantage. And again, another missed free throw.
Long way long, 10 points in the opening game of the season for the Singapore Slingers, and he really started to come on at the tail end of the 2012 season.
So the Slingers shooting 12% from the floor, 40% from the line. Make that 50%.
And they trail 17-7. Shot clock is off. Warriors will hold for last shot. Crossover, Kanyata, he'll drive. High off the glass. Smith can't handle on the putback. And the ball goes out, and the first quarter ends there. So the Indonesia Warriors on the road get 5 points from Mario Wasong, and at the end of 10 minutes, they lead Singapore 17-7. The second quarter, when we come back, continuing coverage of the ABL on Super Sports Arena after this.
Doesn't it feel good to be vindicated?
We welcome you back to the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Going into the second quarter, the Indonesia Warriors pile it up on the Singapore Slingers 17-7. Very little went right for Singapore in that first quarter, Chuck.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the show, if you remember, Sean, that the key to this game was a guard play. And you mentioned that at the break that Indonesia had 3 guards in double figures throughout the season. Singapore didn't have any, although they had Wong back. And what's happening now with Singapore is, number one, their guards aren't taking good shots. When they're getting good looks, they're passing them up and trying to force the ball down low. So if you're an Indonesian defender, you're going, hey, why even bother to guard out there? Either they're not going to shoot or they're not going to get good looks anyway, or they're going to pass up the good looks. So we're going to concentrate on doubling up the guys who can do damage to us, and that is Jones, Jennings, and Jeffers, and that's exactly what's happening. So if you want to search for reasons why Singapore has 7 points, you can look to the play of the guards right now.
So for Ng Beng Siong, coach of the Singapore Slingers, more offense needed from Wong Wei Long, Desmond O, Ng Han Bin, and JJ Kabatu. And this is Wong Wei Long for Ng. Kyle Jeffers.
You see, Jeffers absolutely no use out there at the top of the key. He's having to play basically two different positions and having to freelance to get what he can get.
Right, an off-balance shot falls for Jeffers, and the Slingers now look for a stop to be in the second. Here is Kanyata. Amin Priantono, a three-point specialist, drains it from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's got the mismatch on Wong. He's about 5 inches taller than him, so doesn't even need separation. Just shoot over the top of him.
Puts the lead at 11. Jeffers from up top, swish.
Well, if he can hit 2 or 3 of those, he can draw a defender out on, but otherwise the defenders are going to stay at home.
Jones-Jennings breaks that up. Wong Wei Long will run. Jennings with him, goes inside, and one for Rashad Jones-Jennings.
Yeah, great job there by Wong to hold the ball up and wait to see what support he was going to have. Eventually, it was Jones-Jennings on that right-hand side. Excellent feed. Jennings taking it strong to the back.
Foul committed by Indra-Jaya. Jones-Jennings in college at Arkansas Little Rock led the NCAAs in rebounding one season. And he has got some serious claws in the lane, Chuck.
Well, that's what you were mentioning. You look at his physical stature. He's only 6'7", 6'8", but his arms go almost all the way down to the floor. What great reach he's got, and long fingers as well. He misses that free throw.
7-point lead. Priantono, same spot. And the follow-up. Oh, and Christian Satepu gets continuation and will head to the line to complete a three-point play.
Well, silly foul there by Jeffers, sticking his hand in. You got to know that the referee's right there in the action. Fortuitous shot there, actually, by Indonesia. The ball just sort of bounced right into his hands, but sometimes stuff happens. You have to be prepared for it. Jeffers was not.
Saw Jeffers pleading his case. Satepu completes the three-point play. 10-point spread for the Warriors. Quickly, Slingers turn it over. Richard Smith cutting that pass off. Kanyata going back to Thomas. Ball pops up loose. Kanyata in traffic.
Nice job by Jennings to corral that loose ball underneath. Saw it fall to the floor and leaked around a little bit, and Jennings quick to pick it up.
Jennings bangs with Smith,
Travel.
and that's a travel. He went up and down. Correct call.
Well, he had possession of it, and while he was up in the air, then before he came down, he grabbed it again. That's a no-no. Easy call for the referees. Now full court pressure being applied by Singapore. One pass breaks that.
We get back to the live action. Priantono faking. Kanyata inside to Thomas. The switch back. Kanyata got a great crossover. Smith, one bounce, and it rattles out.
Well, mistake Smith there as he put the ball on the floor. All they had to do was go straight up.
See Wong Wei Long looking to drive, then pulls it back out.
A better ball movement that time, more positive that time by the Slingers.
Desmond O down the middle and comes out. Jones-Jennings, loose ball, and coming up with a Kanyata. Excellent defense by Indonesia. The strip. Warriors ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Kanyata very lucky that time. He was way out of control. More positive stuff. I realized Singapore didn't get the basket that time, but you can see the way they moved the ball around. Driving the lane that time was Desmond O. Did everything right but put the ball in the cylinder.
Cañada, the lone guard, on the floor.
Good spin move. You can see him turn Desmond O around, not once, but twice.
That foul was offensive.
I guess so. I didn't see it.
It was on Cañada. The shoulder into Dulé. Into Desmond O, excuse me.
My goodness, he never had his feet set at all.
So Chuck, you don't like the call.
Well, that's an understatement.
Dulé. John Smith back in the game, and he is on Don Dulé.
So now Jennings playing outside. Jeffers are trying to post up, and Thomas gets the best of that.
And here, of course, the problem for the Slingers, if you're going to put your big men outside and they're going to handle the ball, that is not their forte, and that kind of stuff is going to happen.
But yeah, what they're trying to do by doing that, though, is draw a big man outside to create some space for the little guys to drive the lane, get some penetration, because they're not getting hardly any now.
Jeffers from outside. Loose ball. And the Slingers will have it with 24 seconds as the ball went off the rim. And they catch a break.
Yeah, Indonesian fans don't like that call. Slingers will take it. They're getting the breaks.
Desmond O from outside, short on the three. Thomas skies the rebound, knocked loose. Jennings picks it up.
Nice job by Jennings. He's been chasing down every loose ball. You see that ball leak down on the floor, quick to pick it up. That's twice in the last 4 sequences that he's done that.
Slingers looking for second chance points. Jones-Jennings, the shot waved off, and Jones-Jennings called for steps once again.
Well, he was double teamed, and I think what he tried to do is move away from his primary defender. Looked up and saw the weak side defender come over there, and it surprised him a little bit, moved his feet. Good call by the ref.
Thomas pushes off against Jennings. Shoveled back from the free throw line. Nothing but net for Steve Thomas.
And for some reason, Jennings didn't go out on him. You know, they'll take that 12, 13-footer every time. Got to put a hand in his face.
Up to a 12-point Warriors lead. Loose ball, and that's stolen, and Kyle Jeffers committing a silly foul.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thought that Indonesia was back in transition more than they were. There were some white shirts on the retreat, so really unnecessary. You called that, Sean.
Jeffers is foul prone. That's going to knock against him. Thomas working against the smaller Jennings. And Jennings gets his hand in there, and Desmond O in traffic comes up with the loose ball.
Daniels hitting the deck that time.
Wild pass by Kabatu. Dusong has options. Daniels didn't have his head up.
No, he didn't. A good point there, Sean. You know, you've got to know where the ball is at all times. Daniels was anticipating Dusong cut to the rack, and it didn't happen, and he get hit in the back of the head. Indonesia luckily still has control of the basketball.
18 seconds on the shot clock. Smith and strip. How about Kyle Jeffers undressing the guard for the Warriors? The score by Desmond O. Kyle Jeffers, a Swiss Army knife today.
Yeah, quick hands getting in there in between dribbles, knocking it away. Has the presence of mind to see the white shirt streaking down the middle. Hits him with a perfect pass. Easy too.
Satepu, Jones-Jennings cuts that off. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Smith for three. Daniels tracks it down in the corner. Now the Warriors looking for second chance points.
Jones-Jennings doing a fine job on Thomas down low, and you see Thomas coming up to the high post now. And for the first time, Indonesia looked a little bit lost, but
Smith with the runner. Yeah, Smith in the lane. And Beng Siang has seen enough. 27-15, 4:35 to go in the first half. More from the Singapore Indoor Stadium when we come back on Super Sports Arena. We are live at the Singapore Indoor Stadium where the Indonesia Warriors lead the Singapore Slingers 27-15, 4:33 to go in the first half. Don Dulé back into the game, and he has Desmond with him. Oh, on a drive, and that's snuffed out by Steve Thomas, who will be called for the foul.
Yeah, but good job by Desmond and the guard starting to get a little bit more active for Singapore, taking that dribble penetration. It's a narrow lane, but you've got to do it. You've got to show some courage. You've got to go for the space that's given to you and hope for the positive things. Stay positive. Positive things will happen. Coach Purvis was talking to the team for Indonesia at the break, saying, we'll be fine. Just take care of the ball. If you look at the turnovers, the Warriors, Sean, do have 9 turnovers to the Slingers 7, so point taken.
And really, that's one of the few things that is keeping Singapore in this first half.
Slingers shooting 23%, 6 of 26 from the floor. Warriors 11 of 24 for 46%. And free throw percentage, Singapore 44% from the line. 44%
from the free throw line. That is abysmal. Mario Wasong outside. Now Daniels from the free throw line. He pumps and gets the shooter's roll.
Well, inside Daniels with a deft little touch there. He sort of lost track of where he was, but then he picks it up at the last moment. Sort of like a two-hand shot. Gets the shooter's roll.
14-point cushion. Check that, 13 points for the Warriors in the lane. Thomas clears the glass and then stripped by Dulé. Clear path to the basket. And it will fall. And once again, an Indonesia turnover, giving the Slingers points.
Yeah, that's 10 turnovers now for Indonesia. So Coach Purvis knew what he was talking about at the break. Almost picked off again.
Smith was trying to hit Thomas, and they'll call Jennings on the foul. I must admit, I did not see that foul.
Yeah, our backs to the action just a little bit. Maybe it is possible that Jennings did get a hand in there, but certainly didn't look like it. So another questionable call underneath by the referees.
3:19 to go in the first half. 14 seconds on the shot clock for the Warriors. Warriors coming into this game off a difficult home and away, which they swept against the Westport Malaysia Dragons.
Tepu quietly had himself a nice little game, looking for movement now, though, and gets it picked off. Wow.
Yeah, an ugly inbound pass.
Certainly was.
Dulé. Back out to Jeffers.
Draws the double team. Somebody's got to be open.
Desmond for the three. Will not fall, but it was the right shot.
Yeah, it was.
Daniels, skip pass to Tepu, can't gather it. The ball was behind him. And Indonesia gives it back once more. 12 turnovers charged to Indonesia in this first half.
Well, curse of the announcer. I was just mentioning Tepu having a nice little game, then quickly 2 turnovers by him. He goes to the bench.
Lim Sheng Yu, number 12 in the game for Singapore. Warriors officially with 11 turnovers. Drawing Wasong outside. 0 for 3. Bang!
Yeah. I was shaking my head because I thought Kyle Jeffers, after throwing that screen, should have rolled immediately off of and looked for the return pass. But turns out 3's better than 2.
Gets the crowd going here. Thomas with the floater over the top. That's the height advantage he enjoys over Jones Jennings.
That's right. He's got a little bit better hops than Jennings as well. Little one-hand floater that time in the lane.
Lim. Wants it again. Long rebound. Daniels controls it. Wasong offloads. Daniels from outside. He's got to hit the open 15-footer.
Well, we saw him do that a few times in China. Didn't enamor him to the fans there. At Qingdao, that's where he played with Tracy McGrady. He was cut loose first week in December.
Jennings' hook shot gets them within 8. 90 seconds to play in the first half.
Nice turn there by Jennings. He got the ball, a little head fake, got his defender going the opposite way. He goes left. Very impressive the way he can go either way.
Smith has space and wastes no time draining the triple.
No white shirt around him at all. So eschewing the defense on the perimeter that time, Singapore. And getting torched.
Wong through a double team. And the ball rattles around up for Wusong. He has a man with him. And Wusong really should have passed that ball. Wong up to Jennings. Dulé, his three, deflected, shot back out to Wong Wei Long. Slingers inexplicably passing up on the outside shot, and Jeffers goes down the lane, reach-in foul on Steve Thomas.
Yeah, Wong had a wide open look there from three and passed it up, and the Singapore Slingers guards have done that 5 or 6 times. The only way you're going to get your confidence if you knock down a few shots. Wong hit one, he missed one, and then now all of a sudden he's got cold feet. Not the way to get in the good books of your coach either.
So Kyle Jeffers to the line. He has 8 points. This is first time at the stripe tonight. Jeffers played collegiate ball at Oregon State, the Beavers, the same school where Gary Payton, the glove, came out of Chuck.
Jeffers more or less a role player at that time, but has parlayed himself into a nice little career overseas.
And Jeffers will check out with 31.8 seconds left. Delvin Go sees his first action tonight.
Well, the name of that move is we don't want Kyle to pick up an unnecessary foul with 30 seconds to go. Good half-court pressure, full-court pressure by Singapore.
Go pushing out on Thomas.
Well, that's unfortunate. Full court press surprised Indonesia. They're on the verge of getting a turnover there. Instead, reach-in foul by Delvin Go, and I don't know why the people are reacting the way they are. Check it out again. Quite clearly pushing him off. Not once, but twice. In fact, he wasn't called the first time he did it.
Slingers with a foul to give. So with 23.8 seconds left, the Warriors will inbound. Smith.
About a 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So Singapore will get the ball back.
Smith outside for Daniels. From the elbow, he hits.
Yeah, nice rise there by Daniels. Nice finish by him.
Wong short from midcourt. The Indonesia Warriors led by 10 after 1 quarter, and they are going to take an 11-point lead into the locker room here on the road at the indoor stadium in that first half. Balanced scoring for the Indonesia Warriors. 8 different Warriors, Chuck, scoring in that first half.
That's right, and on top of that, shooting 50% from the floor. Slingers, on the other hand, 26%. As funny as it seems, that's an improvement. At one point, they were shooting 12%, Sean, so slight improvement by the Slingers, but Warriors far and away the better player in the half.
Let's send it over to Michelle Holland.
Thank you, Sean. I'm here with Todd Purvis, the head coach of the Indonesia Warriors, currently leading this game. Now, Todd, you've said previously you need to work on your offense. You are certainly converting those 2 points tonight, so it must be working out for you. Tell us how you've been working on it.
Well, we still need to convert a higher percentage of them. We've scored in the 30s right now, and I think we need to push the ball a little bit more, but certainly on the defensive end is where we hang our hat, and we need to continue to defend and rebound.
Thanks, Todd. Also, seeing John Smith tonight. John was instrumental in establishing an early lead for your team. How important has he been in the absence of Stanley Pringle?
John's been outstanding, a real professional coming in for Stan. He's been a big help on both ends of the floor. Very coachable, and he's shown leadership skills in a short amount of time. I'm extremely proud of him.
Thank you very much for joining us, Todd.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Michelle. So in that first half. Great balanced scoring for the Indonesia Warriors. When we come back, first half highlights, you're watching live coverage of the 2013 ABL. Okay.
Rebounding edge, 23-15 in favor of Indonesia.
Okay. When I ask you a question, don't be afraid to look at the yeah. All Indonesia in that first half. After 20 minutes, they are leading it 36-25 as we welcome you back to the Singapore Indoor Stadium, where we are at the half. Sean Farquhar along with Chuck Schreiner. Everything working for Indonesia in that first half, Chuck. They really spread the wealth around on the offensive end.
Absolutely. They've got 8 guys who have scored. The Singapore's only 4 guys, Sean, have scored. Rebounds, a big +8 for Indonesia. The only aspect of the game where perhaps the Warriors do need to improve, and they talked about that at the timeout, turnovers. +3 for Singapore in that category. But everything else, you look at shooting, Singapore 26%. Compared to 46% for the Indonesian team. 55%, Sean, from the free throw line. That's not going to get it done in any league. On the other side of the ball, Indonesia perfect from the free throw line. So offensively, slam dunk in favor of the Warriors after a half.
Right, the Warriors, multi-dimensional on offense, both pounding it inside, Daniels and Thomas, and getting it done from outside, Wusong, Sitepu, Smith, Kanyata. It just goes on and on. Very difficult for the Slingers to defend when they don't know where the scoring is going to come from.
That's right. The big surprise in the game, as the interviewer was saying with Michelle, 9 points for Smith, and he is just a substitute in this game. And he was getting space. The Singapore Slingers defense was not going out to the perimeter to guard these guys on the other side of the ball. Wong hits a three and then misses one and then inexplicably stops shooting. You've got to get the guards involved. We've been saying this for the whole game. Jones and Keith can't do it by himself. Sorry, Jeffers can't do it by themselves. And right now, it's playing out according to plan for the coach for Indonesia and their team. They're doing a great job offensively.
Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. These two teams coming into this one with even 500 records. Slingers 1-1, and the Indonesia Warriors 2-2. There's one of the few times that Jones Jennings was able to get a clean shot off, and John Smith here in the lane. Meanwhile, for the Slingers at the other end, Kyle Jeffers, a hook shot there, and an otherwise relatively quiet first half with 10 points.
Yeah, pretty quiet for him. He wasn't able to wheel and deal down low. Him and Jones Jennings, of course, they're the bulk of the offense for the Singapore, but they were never meant to be dominating as they are right now. In other words, if they're going to get some space on offense, they're going to have other guys contribute offensively as well. That hasn't happened. Therefore, it's very easy for the Warriors to double team them down low wherever they go.
And we just saw a Warriors turnover, 11 TOs in the first half. That's the one thing that is keeping Singapore in this contest.
That is the only thing. You're right about that, Sean. 11-8, and the steals 5-2. It translates into the same. Had the Warriors taken care of the ball just a little bit better, they'd be up by 15 or 20 right now.
Jarek Kanyata with the jumper. It would end 17-7 after one quarter. So Steve Thomas here going over the top. He's got a big height advantage over Rashad Jones-Jennings.
Yeah, and he's used it to very good effect, and absolutely when he posts up, he has a good 3 inches over Jones-Jennings, despite the big wingspan that Jones-Jennings has. Plus, Thomas, a true wide body. He can bump and grind with Jennings easily.
There's the lone three-pointer for the Singapore Slingers in that first half, courtesy of Wong Wei Long. We take a look at the statistics. Very little here to cheer about for the Singapore Slingers. 1 of 10 from three-point land. Meanwhile, the Warriors efficient with their shooting, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, they're mid-range shooters, and look at the stats that sort of proves it. 1 of 10 from outside, that's disgraceful. So the Slingers are going to have to do a whole lot better than that, Sean, if they're going to keep their nose in this game.
And we don't really see them going away from the outside game because the Warriors are really happy to just neutralize Kyle Jeffers and Jones Jennings down low.
Yeah, and that's all they need to do. In fact, what they can do whenever they roll off Jennings or Kyle Jeffers down low, they can double team on them, leave somebody open. It doesn't matter because they're not afraid of them hitting the shot anyway.
All right, so when we come back, or really, let's take a look at Kyle Jeffers, the leading scorer for the Singapore Slingers, 10 points, but they pushed him further and further away from the basket in that first half.
They dropped the defense down low because they didn't have anything to fear from outside. They're going to give the Singapore Slingers room to shoot from out there until they prove them that they can do it. But Jeffers having to create some space, be imaginative. We said one time during the game, Sean, that Jeffers was having to freelance because there was just nobody there that was going to be able to do anything to help him.
So Jeffers with 10 points, but Rashad Jones-Jennings 2 of 9 in that first half. And this is a player who's really not going to take a shot outside of 10 feet.
Well, that's a testament to the defense around him. Thomas doing a bang-up job on Rashad Jones, boxing out real well, and just putting a body on him, throwing him out of sync just enough so that Jones-Jennings does not feel comfortable on offense. And it's wearing on him a little bit defensively, too, because if he's being guarded by Thomas on the offensive end, he's coming back, he's having to guard Thomas when Thomas has the ball. And it's a lot of physicality to keep up during the course of the game.
Another player, Chuck, that really has to work his way into this game, JJ Kabatu, 0 of 2 from the floor. He is a wing player. They need more from him from the perimeter.
Yeah, and the guards from Indonesia doing a fantastic job of blocking out the guard play from Singapore. They're catching them at midcourt, and they're not turning loose of them and giving them very, very little space to move in. They're working their pick and rolls on defense and on offense very, very well is Indonesia, and right now it's a mismatch so far.
So The Singapore Slingers trailing the Indonesia Warriors 36-25. Again, you can watch this game live on the web stream. Go to ASEANBasketballLeague.com, and from there, YouTube.com, ABL. The third quarter when we return live on Supersports Arena. We welcome you back to the Singapore Indoor Stadium. The third quarter set to go. The Indonesia Warriors on the road, leading the Singapore Slingers 36-25. Michelle Holland, Chuck Schreiner, and Sean Park were with you here in the Lion City. This one coming to you live on Supersports Arena. Also available on the live web stream at youtube.com/ABL. Todd Purvis, Chuck, that first half going exactly the way he wanted. All of his players getting in the mix offensively, and they shut down Singapore on the defensive end.
Oh, they certainly did, and more of the same. You know exactly what he was talking to his guys about as we look at the foul to open up the third quarter. Keep your heads, take care of the ball. More important than anything, take care of the ball, and the game's going to go our way.
That offensive foul was on Mario Wusong.
Update on the turnovers: 12 for the Warriors in the first half, 7 for the Slingers, so +5.
Jeffers with Chris Daniels on him. It's Dulé, Sheng Yu, Jennings, and Desmond O for the Slingers. Steve Thomas, Mario Wusong, John Smith, Chris Daniels, and Christian Sitepu. And the Slingers with a bucket.
Jones Jennings this time. Nice patient build up. Out of control there by Thomas, but he'll go there. By Thomas, but he'll go the line.
It's actually Chris
Daniels, excuse me. Finding the lane, and then like a vacuum, he attracted about 3 white shirts, so take your pick. I'm not even sure who committed the initial foul.
Chris Daniels with 6 points in the first half. Hey, a breakout game on the weekend. 23 points in the Warriors' 79-72 win over the Westport Malaysia Dragons.
Well, the knock against Daniels in China was he wasn't perceived to be tough enough underneath. More of a finesse type player. They wanted him to play the 4 spot that Tracy McGrady now plays for that team.
1 of 2. T-Mac, a power forward.
Yeah, it's strange to watch him trying to operate with a post-up move.
The second possession.
Thomas trying to get some clarification from the referees on that last foul.
That, Chuck, is the second team foul against the Warriors in the third quarter. Jeffers over for Lim Sheng-yu. He'll go into the lane, and Satepu comes up with a loose ball.
Yeah, never a good sign when you're having to throw a cross-court pass with 12 left on the shot clock. The follow is good.
Christian Satepu with the second effort, and the lead back up to 12. Corner. Lim Sheng-yu. Satepu all over him and wide open. Desmond
Yeah, you've got to knock those shots down. My goodness, there was nobody within 8 feet of him. A practice jumper.
Strong team.
John Smith goes to his spot. Rims out.
The Slingers dodge a bullet that time.
Jeffers, spin move, and strong to the rack.
Yeah, nice initial move by Jeffers to back down Thomas. Got the separation, turned around, and lo and behold, there was more space, so he took advantage of it.
Knocked out by O. Warriors ball on the side. Kyle Jeffers now leading all scorers with 12 points.
Around the screen.
And Wusong, space opening on the right side, and the Indo, Mario Wusong, going to the cup for the deuce.
We got the help on the screen on the opposite side. Finished off very nicely.
Jones-Jennings, a hook shot that was aborted.
Yep.
That time by Daniels.
Wusong puts it up. That's a shooting foul, and Wusong will head straight to the stripe.
You gotta love that aggressive move by Mario Wusong that time, going straight at his defender, seeing the defender backing up. He goes straight at him. There was no way he was going to set his feet quick enough to avoid the foul. Good recognition.
Mario Wusong this season averaging a shade under 12 points.
The Warriors now 67% from the line, 4 of 6. Make that 4 of 7.
Don Dulé.
Looking for cutters, nobody flashing across the middle, and look who has to come all the way out there, Jeffers.
Sheng-Yu on the baseline, goes inside, Jones-Jennings. That's an ill-advised pass by Lim Sheng-Yu, 2 defenders.
Yeah.
In the way of Jennings.
Yeah, all Lim did there was just hang his teammate out to dry by putting the ball inside with 2 defenders around. I mean, what's he supposed to do, even if he can corral the ball, which incidentally was at his feet?
Dulé inbounding with 7 seconds on the shot clock. A long 2 from Kyle Jeffers. A very low percentage shot.
Yeah. That's not the shot you want your high scorer to take.
Smith gives up the dribble. Daniels colliding with Kyle Jeffers, and that'll be a foul on Kyle Jeffers. It's on the floor.
Yeah. Had that drop, that would have counted. You can see the referee watching the ball all the way through that. He would have given continuation on that.
So here we are, 6:47 to play in the third quarter, Chuck, and Kyle Jeffers picks up his third foul.
Well, not good news for the Slingers.
Smith and Daniels shovels it back out. Right side jumper. Dulé looking to push it. Throws it back, not sure what he was trying to do there.
Well, he got caught in no man's land, and not very good hustle by. There were three white shirts that hadn't even made it down the court yet.
And Satepu steps on the line. Sloppy ball handling by both clubs.
That's right. Yeah, good call, Sean. I couldn't have said it better myself. Very scrappy to open up the third quarter right here. Checking in the game for Singapore, number 7, Wu Chin Day.
Very little playing time in the first 2 games for Wu. Wong for 3. Rebound Thomas.
Make that 1 of 11 from beyond the arc for the Slingers.
Wusong, left side opening up. Kick out. Kanyada driving. Smith down the middle, and it swirls and drops for John Smith Jr.
Yeah, I mean, player of the game in a lot of ways for Smith. All the other guys getting all the attention, but Smith quietly going about his business. He's got 12.
A 15-point lead for the Indonesia Warriors. Dulé. Leaner from Wu, Jones-Jennings. The Slingers having to work hard for every basket now.
Oh, they certainly are. Meanwhile, Smith
That's a
again.
That is a 2 from Smith. He is lighting it up. John Smith with 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting. And Ng Beng Seong wanting to talk it over with his Slingers, now trailing 40. Warriors here in the third quarter, 5:02 to go, and they have their biggest lead of the game, 46-31. Don Dulé for Kyle Jeffers up top. Wong Wei Long now into the corner for Wu. Jones-Jennings waits for his defenders to get off their feet and scores in the inside, but he is really having to labor for every basket.
Yeah, very good innate move there by Rashad. You saw that, waiting till all the action died down around, then taking the ball strong up. Good, strong move to the rack.
Kanyada, that's some good defense from Wong Wei Long. Back to Thomas.
Oh, he thought about it.
And now a little shake and bake, and Steve Thomas off the front of the iron. Wong glides up. Wu, Jeffers wants to go against Daniels. Pass outside, swung to Wong Wei Long. Just a brutal pass attempted by Wong. Warriors are just waiting for those reversals. Wusong working against Dulé, and an offensive foul. Heads up move by Don Dulé. Take a look.
Yeah, check it out here. Very questionable call. One of 3 or 4 that we can point to tonight. I don't know if any of them would make a difference in the flow of the game, but certainly gets you attention when you see a referee miss one like that.
Don Dulé somehow not nominated for an Oscar. Chris Daniels with the steal. And he gets the shot off.
Well, nothing to lose if you're Daniels. You give it your strong move, get the shoulder out there, make sure when you get the contact it's going to be blunt.
Meanwhile, for Jones Jennings, doesn't want to give up the easy layup, excuse me.
And, you could make the case that's a good foul by Jones Jennings as well.
Daniels at the line, 7 points thus far.
Well, how about John Smith averaging 9 points? He's 6 of 8 from the floor tonight, Sean, 14 points.
And remember, he was brought in to relieve the Warriors when Stanley Pringle, their star, went out with a meniscus injury that's scheduled to keep him out for up to 12 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're John Smith, every game you're a human highlight because there's no guarantee that you're going to be around when their big man comes back. And so he's politicking right now to keep his job when that eventuality comes.
It's an interesting problem for Todd Purvis. He would then have 4 guards on the roster if he kept Smith.
You wouldn't anticipate that happening.
Dulé, and that's taken away by Cañada, and then Don Dulé with an unsportsmanlike foul because Jared Cañada had a clear path to the basket.
Well, Dulé very frustrated now, and he got his pocket picked right in front of everybody, and that's the way he reacted.
So it's going to be 2 shots and possession for the Warriors with 3:35 to go in the third quarter. They're already up 15.
Well, we talked right at the start of the game, Sean, that this game would settle on the guard play of both these teams and how right we have been. On one side of the ball, we see a very cool and collected trio of guards, and actually a 4th guard who's come in and out of the game for the Warriors, and they can do no wrong. The Slingers, beside one little harmless 3 put up by Wong, have done absolutely nothing. And on top of it, they've compounded the situation by having the ball turned over at least a half dozen times. In fact, the turnover is now 14-10. The Warriors still have an edge there. Rebounds 30-20, plus 10 for the Warriors.
And a 17-point lead results.
Slingers shooting 13 of 46 from the floor, 28%. Warriors 19 of 38 for an even 50.
Foul on the perimeter.
Sean, some games the statistics don't tell a whole lot about the game, but this particular one, the statistics tell everything.
Correction, John Smith standing on the line, no one guarding Kyle Jeffers. Jeffers from beyond the lane, knocked back out. Wong sets his feet, squares, shoots, and scores a rare triple for the Slingers.
Yeah, the second one for him. They were 1 of 12 before that, so make it 2 of 13, both by the same guy, however.
Jeffers out on Rousson. Smith from the left hand.
Nice aggressive move to the basket by Smith. Finding the lane, acres of land, acres of real estate for him to travel in, and stepping in and just sticking the hand in, sort of the Olay defense. That'll send Smith to the line.
Having already scored 14 points. This is his first time at the stripe tonight.
Warriors 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. 8 of 11 from the stripe.
John Smith last season, part of a resurging Saigon Heat team who began the season 0-7. And Smith part of the feel-good story of the 2012 season as he attempts a three-pointer. Slingers with the ball down 14. At this stage, Chuck, really they're looking to get it to a single-digit deficit going into the fourth.
Well, and count another reason for the reason why the Slingers are getting blown out here is they just don't seem to have much going off of their offensive set as we look at Jeffries.
That'll work. Jeffers, three-point play coming up.
But basically, you look on the floor and you see the guards curling up on the left and right-hand side, and they do the same thing every single time, waiting for the eventuality they're going to dump the ball down into Jeffers, and hopefully either him or Jones-Jennings, who really hasn't had much luck offensively tonight, can kiss the ball off the glass and get in a situation like they're in right now, possibly with three-point play, and they do complete it.
That foul, by the way, charged to Richard Smith. This is John Smith.
Warriors spreading out their offense, looking for lanes.
Yeah, Cañada reverses Smith for three. Ooh, boy. Refusing to drop for Smith.
Yeah, that would have added insult to injury right there. The coldest player on the court dropping a three on you. Smith shooting 21% from the floor. Not for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the season.
Jeffers looking around. No help, so he does it himself.
He's streaky.
That's a long two for Jeffers. Cuts the lead to 9. Under 90 seconds to play here at the indoor stadium.
And now the Warriors turn to stand around.
Usong sends it back. Smith to his namesake, John Smith. Too strong. Thomas with the rebound, and Jones-Jennings going over the back of Steve Thomas.
Well, time for John Smith to give it a rest on the shooting. He's missed his last 4 shots. Shooting percentage dropping down. He was 6 of 8. Now he's 6 of 13. 6 of 12 actually.
Now there was a timeout called, and I'm not sure the referees heard that one. So a little delay in the action, and now it is a timeout. This is taken by the Slingers, and it comes with 1:13 to go in the third quarter. A well-timed break, I think, for the Slingers, having got to within 9.
Well, 41 to 50, 50-41, 9-point lead. Yes, they have cut that lead significantly. It was up to 16 at one point, but it's all because of one guy. Kyle Jeffers basically is taking the team on his back. They still need, and for the umpteenth time, they've got to get some more people involved. If you look at the numbers, Jeffers with 19 points, but you look down the line, not a whole lot of help after that.
Rashad Jones-Jennings, 9 points, but has needed 13 shots to get there. And you look at the rest of the team, across the board, a total of 4 field goals from the other 10 players on the roster. That's not going to get it done.
Well, at halftime, they only had 4 players who had scored, period. Now they've got 5 as you add the 3 points from O.
Meanwhile, for Indonesia, let's give them credit, 8 different guys into the scoring column.
That's right, led by Smith, but it's very, very balanced scoring. You got a guy with 9, Daniels, Wusong chipping in with 7. You guys, a couple guys with 4, a couple guys with 3, a guy with 5, Satepu. So whoever they rotate in the lineup, they're doing a job, and that's what basketball is all about ultimately.
Steve Thomas, his free throw shooting has certainly improved since he first came into the ABL with the AirAsia Philippine Patriots. Knocks down both, and it's an 11-point lead with 1:11 to go here in the third quarter. Wu with Amin Priantono on him. Desmond O. Down inside, Wu, double pump, and will score over the top of Priantono.
Now much better stuff there by Singapore, cutting those guards inside the lane, challenging the interior defense of Indonesia. They need more of that.
Wusong swings to Richard Smith. Priantono, who has 3-point range, is taken away by Wu. Slingers now in transition.
Yeah,
Desmond
they
O.
need to wait. They need to wait.
You know, O has lost confidence in his three-point shot. There's no question about it. That was an open look. He refused to take it. Wong dumps back. They swing. Wu from outside. Loose ball. Saved by Jennings. Fresh 24. But 9 seconds to go here in the third. Slingers will line up for one more. Wong thinking three all the way. Jones-Jennings will get the shot off. That beat the shot clock. Now the shot, it looked like it was released before the shot clock went off. We should get a look at this at the replay, and they say yes, the basket counts, and that is a big one for the Slingers. Take one more look here at the way this third quarter ended. Jones-Jennings, big rebound, Chuck.
Yeah, there's a rebound, missing the layup, but nice follow. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. You can see the backboard lighting up after the fact. Good call by the referees.
A frenetic finish to that third quarter. They trail by 7 heading into the fourth, and we'll have it for you when we come back.
iPad Mini. Okay, one shot. Shot now down to free throw line. Down to iPod Nano. Never mind coming anyway under the basket for Samsung digital camera.
We are back at the Singapore Indoor Stadium going into the fourth. A Singapore Slingers team, Chuck, shooting just 33% from the floor, 14% from beyond the arc, and 58% at the free throw line, and yet they only trail by 7 with the fourth quarter still to come.
Well, Coach Todd Purvis talked about taking care of the ball. The Warriors must have had cotton in their ears when he was releasing that statement, because 16 turnovers to 10, that's +6 for the Slingers. But basically, Kyle Jeffers put the team on his back, and they have a couple more players that are scoring now. Good third quarter for Wong. Good third quarter for Wu as well, so 7-point game.
Jared Cañada, Steve Thomas, Mario Wasong, Chris Daniels, and Amin Priantono begin the fourth quarter, and Chris Daniels going to work in the lane for the Slingers. It's Wong Wei Long, Wu Ching Di, Rashad Jones-Jennings, Desmond O now with the ball, and Kyle Jeffers. This is Wong. Cañada on him. Can the Slingers get it going again from beyond the arc?
Well, Jennings and Jeffers have had virtually no rest. There's a steal right there.
Cañada, a world of confidence, and he goes in and then blows the layup. My goodness.
Well, we've seen that on both sides of the ball tonight a little bit too frequently. So break for the Slingers, and again popping up is Wu.
Yeah, the Warriors just continue to let the Slingers off the hook. Here's Jeffers, bangs with Thomas, kick out. Wong puts it up, knocked out, and the initial call says Slingers ball with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
You know, Desmond O had a great look at the basket that time, and again, putting his own players under duress, passing the ball over to Wong to take a 3 with 2 seconds to go. There's the shot there, and it's going to be off.
Yeah, Jeffers from outside, not what you want. And then a big jam at the other end of the floor. Daniels with the tomahawk.
Yeah, running the floor really well. Now, I just made a statement a little while ago, Sean. Jennings and Jeffers have played the whole game. You got to wonder, 40 minutes with little or no rest, it's got to wear on you.
We'll find out down the stretch here. Cañada steals it from Wu. That's his second. He makes no mistake this time. A layup, and the lead now goes to 13. Forcing the Slingers to burn an early timeout with 8:25 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, 2 quick turnovers do the trick for the Warriors, and they're off and running in the open court. Statement made right there by Daniels on that slam.
Jarek Kanyata, in his second season with the Indonesia Warriors, really doing the job. The Warriors with a 6-0 run to begin the fourth.
Well, Sean, I mean, if you're the Slingers, I mean, how disheartening is that? You fight all the way back, you're trailing by 16, you get it down to 7. Kyle Jeffers, your inspirational guy on the floor, is leading the way. Come on, guys, get on my back. I'm here for you. And then you come in and 2 quick turnovers in the subsequent quarter, and now all of a sudden you're in the same place you were before all that happened. So a major, major blow to the host of Singapore tonight, right there in the first couple of minutes of the fourth quarter.
2 turnovers to begin the fourth for the Slingers.
Right, thank you, Slingers.
Great shooting across the board for the Warriors. Collectively 49%, including 44% from three-point territory.
Slingers still 2 of 15, and the only one that's hit beyond the arc is Wong. He's got a pair.
Look at that gap in the three-point shooting percentage, just 13%. Jeffers now with Daniels. A crucial couple of minutes coming up here for these Slingers. Jones-Jennings backs it out. Desmond O just refusing to shoot. Goes across the floor. Jennings, left-handed hook shot. And because that completely missed the basket, it's a shot clock violation.
That's right. You've got to draw iron. All it did was draw glass, so 24-second violation. You saw when Jennings got the ball down low on that opposite side, immediately drawing a double team. Total disrespect for the outside shooting of Singapore.
Kanyata here looking to eat some clock. Kicks it out. Satepu, 3-ball. Thomas fights for the offensive board, puts it up, and draws contact.
Yeah, good hustle play by Thomas there. White shirts all around. He fights through 2 players for the rebound. Hit his last 2 free throws, so maybe he's turned the corner, as you say, Sean, as far as his miserable free throw shooting from last year.
Foul charge to Wu, his second.
Nothing but net. Talk about the rotation of the guards for the Warriors. Kanyata coming in there now and doing a fine job too. He was instrumental off those 2 turnovers, getting one basket and assisting in another.
Slingers with the ball down by 14. Wu glides over to the wing. Long way long. Skip pass, and it pops back out. Wu with a hand in his face, taps it over. Wong hurries the 3 off the front of the iron. Slingers only getting low quality looks at the basket.
And Smith doing the smart thing, bringing it back outside, spreading out the defense. A 1-4 set now for the Warriors.
Daniels blocked by Jeffers.
Great timing by Kyle that time.
And then taken away by Satepu, who got his hand in against Desmond O, who's having a very poor night.
A horrible game. Lost control of the ball. It leaks out right into the path of Kanyata, who again picks it up. Good fourth quarter so far for the little man.
Thomas just beating the shot clock.
Yeah.
Christian Satepu. And he is really starting to work his way into the offense. He has 7 points.
You can see after that basket, the shoulders starting to slump a little bit on the Slinger side of the ball. It's been that kind of a night. Having problems just getting the ball into play. He steps on the line right there. Another turnover. So 16-14 now, turnovers in favor of the Slingers, but they led by 7 or 8 just a little while ago. Such has been the changing complexion of this game in this quarter.
Kanyata with the high dribble. Dulé out on him. The Warriors certainly in no rush. Already up by 16. Daniels putting it on the floor, and that'll be an over and back against the Warriors.
Smart play there by Smith, letting more time trickle off the clock.
And then Smith saying, hey, it should be on the side. Trying to sell the referees.
Trying to sell it.
Yep. Oh, head fake, drives. Jeffers down the lane and will go to the line. And you know what? I think the Warriors will live with that shot.
Yeah, they will. I think they've decided. They know who the danger men are on the Slingers team. And if they can, you're never going to stop Jeffers. You can contain him, keep him around 22, 23 points. And they have done a very good job with Jones-Jennings. So one guy gets in double figures, no harm, no foul.
Kyle Jeffers working on a career night here for the Singapore Slingers. Breaks the free throw, 21 points and 7 boards for Kyle Jeffers.
He also has 3 fouls, but that's not really a factor at this point in the game.
Thomas with a one-handed shot and then stares down his defender, Jones-Jennings.
Yeah, he just ate up Rashad that time. They've had a good battle tonight. Thomas has got the best of it.
J.J. Kabatu, very little action today. Jeffers, spin move, kicks it out. Oh, tap ball, and Kabatu will catch up to it. Oh, he really likes that bounce pass.
Well, no complaints, about the bounce pass, but you can't put it at a guy's feet. He had room to get a little bit higher into the zone where Jones-Jennings could have picked it up and gone straight up with it. But when you have to, take a couple seconds to corral it, by that time he had 2 defenders all over him.
That basket waved off. The foul was on the floor, so Jeffers is shooting a pair here with 4:51, and his Slingers down 16.
Jeffers 9 of 15 from the floor, 56%.
Richard Smith back into the game, and Chris Daniels will take a seat. That might be the last time we see Chris Daniels this evening. If so, he finishes with 11 points and 9 rebounds.
About what he averaged in China.
Jeffers with 23. Smith, and that's knocked out by Kabatu.
Good job by Kabatu to get to the spot. Good anticipation.
Smith comes out on him after a beautiful move in the lane.
Yeah. He turned Kabatu a 180 getting around him.
On red 24, Richard is second versus 9.
Well, the fans understandably a little bit disappointed by the effort of the Slingers tonight. Down by 14, it's been pretty much that. They worked so hard by the end of the third quarter to cut it down to 7 and throw the ball away, and with it their chances of winning this game. Still plenty of time left, but you just get the feeling that a little bit running on fumes, except for that guy right there.
I tell you, Kyle Jeffers is really rounding out his outside game. He has 25 points. Again, the Warriors letting him get his.
Still playing with a lot of energy, but you can see Rashad Jones-Jennings breathing very heavy. Of course, he's had to work with Thomas all night.
Well, Thomas, the giver on that one to Kanyata, the big man outside, the tiny point guard down low.
Nice movement without the ball by the Warriors, again catching that inside screen, blasting off the opponent and getting the return pass.
Jeffers off the double team, hook shot, too strong, loose ball, scramble for it, Dulé saving it but getting it into Kanyata's hands, and Kanyata will go to the basket, and on the finger roll, Jared Kanyata at 1.8 meters even goes high.
Desmond O just stood in the lane that time and watched it happen.
Jennings lost the handle.
Yeah, Rashad Jones-Jennings is playing on fumes right now. You can see right now holding the shorts, panning almost. He's had a rough job. You can see it in his face.
Still no break for Jeffers or Jones-Jennings, unless I missed my guess.
Jeffers had about a minute at the end of the first half.
All right.
But Jones-Jennings has been in there the whole time.
Oh, short on the 3. Play will continue.
Fresh 24.
Kabatu looking to hit the leaner. He'll go to the stripe.
Unfortunate foul that time. Satepu, I don't know why he reached in. Kabatu was in no position to make that shot. So a bailout foul that time. Turnover 17-14 in favor of the Slingers. They have 14, Warriors have 17. Rebounding, interestingly enough, the Slingers have cut that deficit 36-31. And they have controlled the O-boards 14-9. Blocks going the way of the Warriors, 5-1. Warriors have one more steal, 8-7. But the all-important shooting percentage, 20 of 64, Sean. Singapore shooting 31%, 26 of 52, even 50% for the Warriors.
Tilted floor statistically for the Warriors. Kabatu missing both.
Stepped on the line. Valiant effort there by Chris Daniels.
Dulé on the inbound.
The same offensive set, time after time after time by the Slingers. You get the feeling that if they had some more options off their offense, they might do better. And well for it.
Wow, Jones-Jennings' hook shot, refusing to go today.
He's gassed. He's gassed.
The legs go, and the shot does as well. Outside, that's an over and back. Kanyata stepping on the half-court line.
A little bit of nonchalant move that time by Kenyatta. Guilty of looking at the clock a little bit, trying to eat up some time. Didn't realize where he was on the court.
Dulé asking for a screen, curls around, pick and roll. Jeffers. And the foul on Steve Thomas.
Good job by Kyle Jeffers. Good recognition to get him the ball.
This is the third game in about a week for the Indonesia Warriors, as we see Thomas here bodying on Jeffers. After this, the Warriors will get a break before going to Manila to meet the San Miguel Beermen at the Inaris Sports Arena on Friday, February 8th for the Singapore Slingers. They will next entertain the Westport Malaysia Dragons on Tuesday, February 5th. And you'll be able to watch that game right here on Super Sports. Next Fox Sports regional game comes to you this Friday from Pasig City, where the San Miguel Beermen entertain the Saigon Heat. That one Friday, February 1st, 8 p.m. Hong Kong time.
You know, I know we're going to be digressing and talking about this same subject after the game, Sean, so probably I should bring it up now. But what in the world are Singapore going to do with the assortment of guards that they've got right now? Because, you know, you look at their team after this game and you know where their holes are.
Here's Jones-Jennings. Chris Daniels pulling that one down, so he gets inserted back into the game after I thought he was done for the night.
Jennings, or check that. Jeffers having to play outside.
Kanyata from the elbow, it's short. We talked before the game, Chuck, about the Slingers shooting in the low 30% range over their first two games, and here they are at 31% tonight against the Warriors. Long way long with the third three of the night for the Slingers. In fact, he has all three for Singapore. They are 3 of 18 from downtown. We're going to take a break. When we come back to closing stages, Warriors 67, Slingers 54.
And as we look at the foul there, the first couple games, at what point do you say, yep, they're a 30% shooting team? Because guess what they're shooting today? 32%.
Certainly it is something for the Slingers to work on, and they'll have a week to do it before the Westport Malaysia Dragons, a potent offensive team, comes to town. Here's Mario Wasong. Daniels having a solid night, as has Steve Thomas. Whipped outside. And a basket for Donnie Restanto, getting a little playing time. Not on the roster in their previous game, and foul on the baseline.
Well, you know you're having a good night when the guys that aren't even on the roster come in and start delivering points.
Wu Qingdi at the line. He has 4 points tonight. Two of 5 shooting check. That's 40%. Very high on this Slingers team.
That's right. Leading the team, except for Kyle Jeffers. And you know, you can't say enough about Kyle. He came to play tonight and 25 points, 10 of 18 from the floor. You know, just a yeoman's effort. But then you look around and really not much else to work with.
Jared Kanyata scampering up the floor. Kanyata. Wow, just no one staying with Kanyata. One of the fastest guys in the league. "13 seconds to go. The Indonesia Warriors will go to 3-2. Long way long, and it's put in by Kyle Jeffers. Give him 27 points on the night, and pretty much lapping the rest of the field scoring-wise.
Yeah, a lot of heart by Kyle Jeffers, and he's got to be proud of what he did tonight in a losing cause. 69-55. Check that 57. So 12 points, Sean. About what we thought when we were talking at the beginning of the game.
A 12-point win for the Singapore Slingers, and it really didn't feel that close. It was Kyle Jeffers on offense, not much else, but 4 different Indonesia Warriors into double figures. And 9 different Indonesia Warriors scoring in this one. And the Warriors, who started the season 0-2, have won 3 straight. The post-game recap when we return on Super Sports Arena. Stay with us. Back here at the Singapore Indoor Stadium, where the Indonesia Warriors on the road dominate the Singapore Slingers, a team in search of offense. Now in their 3rd game of the season, they go to a record of 1-2. The Indonesia Warriors have won 3 straight. Chuck Schreiner, Sean Fark, we're back with you here. Great scoring night for Kyle Jeffers, but it goes for naught. And the Indonesia Warriors, behind the play of John Smith, win this one going away. And John Smith standing by with our Michelle Holland.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, John Smith, player of the game, is here with me. A 55% accuracy rate on tonight's scoring. Congratulations, John. Now, John, You're one of the newer faces with the Warriors. Tell me, how are you settling in?
First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Jesus Christ. He gets all the glory for this. As far as being the new guy, it's hard at times, being the new guy, but, we have a great group of guys and, blend well together.
Great, and looking forward to your next game. You're heading to Manila on the 8th of February. From tonight's game, what have you learned that you can take with you?
We have to stay gritty. It's going to be a dogfight. As a guard, personally, we had a lot of turnovers. We limit our turnovers and keep grinding out the whole game, all 40 minutes.
Again, John, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Michelle. Great effort from John Smith, the entire Indonesia Warriors team. Chuck, that San Miguel Beermen team, they dealt them a loss in the first game of the season, but it is a revamped Indonesia Warriors team that goes into it having won 3 straight. Once again, here is Michelle Holland.
Thank you, Sean, and once again, Todd Purvis is with us, the coach of the winning team for tonight's game. Now, Todd, you came into this game off the back of 2 straight wins. You've now made it 3 in a row. How confident were you before the game coming into tonight's match against the Singapore Slingers?
Well, I wasn't overly confident, certainly. I know anytime we come here, we're facing a team that's extremely well coached and they execute real well. So we shot the ball a little bit better today, but we turned it over far too much. And so we'll have to go back to the drawing board and get a little better at taking care of the ball.
Now, your first season was last year, where you did pretty well for yourself. You won the league. Can you do it again this year?
Well, we're certainly going to try our best to. We don't take anything for granted. We know it's going to be a long, tough season. And I've tried to assemble a lot of tough players. And so hopefully down the stretch we'll be playing our best basketball and at least give ourselves an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Todd. And again, back to you, Sean.
And certainly Todd Purvis, Chuck, has a very deep Indonesia Warriors team to work with here going into what would be their 6th game of the season.
That's right, a very deep bench, and you notice everybody that he went to off the bench produced those quality minutes. That's what a coach loves to have.
9 different Indonesia Warriors scoring, and really for the rest of the league, they have to wonder, hey, who are we going to cover when playing the Warriors?
Oh, absolutely. They run the court very well, though. They post up very well. They got 2 big guys that they can go to. They get a lot of key rebounds, and they get second chance opportunities, a coach's dream.
Meanwhile, a lot to work on for the Singapore Slingers. Their head coach, Un Beng Siong, is with Michelle.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, we're here with Coach Neo now. Coach, a couple of weeks ago during your first game, even though you won, you criticized your 2-point scoring game. What are your thoughts after tonight's game?
Well, same thing. We struggle on the offense. I think scoring power we are lacking of, but we need to stay together and stay focused and keep on working.
Okay, and your man Rashad Jones-Jennings, how much of an impact has his presence had on the team since his arrival?
Well, basically he worked hard. I mean, he keep on working and he help out on defensive rebound and offensive rebound as well.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that tonight. Coach Neo, thank you very much for joining us, and Sean, over to you.
And we really wonder, what they are going to work on for their next game. Certainly the perimeter shooting was a problem tonight.
Well, whenever you shoot 32%, it's a problem for you. And as we said before, at what point do you just have to reconcile the fact that you are a poor outside shooting team, and at what point do you really need to go out and perhaps shop around for some more guard play? They might have to do that sooner than they expected.
So such as they are, let's take a look at the second half highlights. The Slingers actually got the second half. They got as close as 7 points, but Indonesia, for the most part, had the offense for Singapore contained.
Yeah, except for Kyle Jeffers, and I think that they made the decision after the third quarter. Kyle's going to get his 30 points, 28 points, whatever, but we can contain everybody else. As it got down to the end part of the game, we saw a lot of fatigue on the side of the Singapore Slingers, and that became a factor too, being wear down, especially on the inside. We saw Jennings really gasped with about 5 minutes to go, and the Warriors taking advantage of that, taking the ball in the way of Thomas straight at him.
Here you see Wong Wei Long. He had all the 3-pointers in this one for the Slingers, who were 3 of 19 from downtown.
Yeah, 16%. They were 1 of 12 at one point. Wong did hit a couple, but one of those at the end when the outcome was already decided. They need to not only shoot better, Sean, they need to shoot better when they need the shots. We saw a lot of times when they had opportunities to take shots, they would actually pass it up Desmond O in particular, 3 or 4 times was wide open, passed it up, and gave it to their teammate with like 2 or 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Now
What are you going to do with that?
Here at the end of the third quarter, Wu with a shot just beating the shot clock, and that gave the Slingers a glimmer of hope going into the fourth, down by 7. Jared Cañada snuffing that out quickly, though, in the fourth.
Yeah, but you saw what happened in the fourth quarter. 2 quick turnovers, ending up in 4 points and then hitting a jumper too. So right away, 7 points to 13 points. And you sort of see the shoulders sagging of the Slingers. They worked so hard to get to within 7, especially Jeffers, and then to be down 13 within 2 minutes. Very, very difficult for them to come back from.
Cañada with the transition basket off the turnover. Jared Cañada, by the way, finishing with 10 points on the night.
And as Singapore started to get wear down on the inside, you saw the Indonesian players start to go to work with them. Thomas, very, very effective towards the end of the game, especially in the fourth quarter. Was very, very effective. Him and Smith both. Smith finishing with 14 points as well. Thomas with 11 and 9 boards.
Statistically, here's the way it finished up. Look at that three-point percentage for the Slingers, just 3 of 19. 40% meanwhile for Indonesia. They shoot 52% from the floor. Free throws, Slingers need to work on that. 48% from the stripe. So that's ugly. We'll come back and wrap things up right after this.
I was about to bitch that. Go ahead.
Back at the Singapore Indoor Stadium where the Indonesia Warriors have won it on the road, 69-57. The standings after this game, the Saigon Heat with a record of 3-1 leading the league. The Warriors now having won 3 straight, now at 3-2. And you see the JobStreet.com Singapore Slingers now with a record of 1 win and 2 losses. They play again in a week's time right here at the Indoor Stadium. Coming up later this week in the ABL, Friday, February 1st, a game you can see on Fox Sports, the San Miguel Beermen hosting the Saigon Heat. They played a wild one at Ton Bin Stadium a week ago. Saturday, February 2nd, the Westport Malaysia Dragons host the Chiang Thailand Slammers. So balanced scoring for the Indonesia Warriors in this one, 69-57 winners. They have put together a 3-game win streak, and the league champions, playing in the absence of Stanley Pringle, looking very good going into their next contest. A reminder, you can watch every game this season live on the web stream at youtube.com. ABL, you can also follow the ABL on Facebook And finally, also on Twitter at ABL News. So that'll do it. 69-57, the Warriors beat the Singapore Slingers. For Michelle Holland and Chuck Schreiner, I'm Sean Farquhar. We'll say good night from the indoor stadium.